honestly, we're going to do this episode. I have no idea whether or not I have nothing to say or a lot to say, but it's going to be an episode. That's for damn sure. I thought last week we were unprepared when we didn't have a doc. I don't even think I need a doc this time. I don't need really points on anything. We're just kind of going to roll. Obviously the Leafs lost last night. So I guess we'll start with that. I don't know. They were up 3-1 in the series at one point. They are now done. They lost 3 straight to put them out in game 7 for the 100th year in a row now. I feel like it's been give or take.
I think
give it 101. Yeah, that makes more sense.
That
makes more sense. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to finish. I don't know how much yelling I need to be doing. I just know that this fucking sucks, and I hate being a Leaf fan. I literally last night took all of my Leaf stuff that I own, and I packed it in a box, and I took that box out to our backyard shed, and I locked it in there. And I told everyone in my family, I'm not bringing that thing out until the Leafs win a playoff series, because there's no point in supporting a team that doesn't support me. What's the point? It's the healthiest decision I've ever made. It's just rid the Leafs from my life. And yeah, I really don't know what else to say on that. They suck. So sick of it. They should be good.
It was really heartbreaking to watch.
Oh my God.
All like those last 3 games, man. Like great for Montreal.
It just got worse and worse.
You know, I know you're a Leaf fan, but I'm gonna give
shout out to the Habs.
Tip my hat to the Habs. Yeah, absolutely, man. They did wonderful for coming back in that series. They started every game.
Oh, for sure.
Like hot. They put the pressure on the Leafs, and sure, the Leafs came back with some scoring, but it was not, it was not sustainable, and it was definitely not at the right moments, right? Not in the necessary moments. So
they had let's count it out. We got William Nylander, Alex Kerfoot, TJ Brody, Jack Campbell, Jake Muzzin, and Jason Spezza. So they had 6 guys that showed up, I would say. Unless you have someone else that I can't think of. They had 6 guys show up for 6 of 7 games. Yeah,
it was tough. Like Travis Durbin, I think, showed up at parts, but
it was not enough.
Giveaway. But it was the brutal giveaway, right? It's shades of same old Toronto making costly mistakes and just, they backed themselves into a corner where they weren't able to make any more mistakes. Right. No. Every time that they came back late, it was a late push to get us into overtime. And then you can't make a mistake from there. And the way that they play is unfortunately a game that mistakes are going to happen from them.
Yeah. Well, for sure. You just got to be able to outscore them. And they
pressure so much offensively that they're going to give up.
There's going to be turnovers.
Changes. Yeah. I think the thing that I'm most frustrated in was not seeing Freddie Anderson at least once.
Jack wasn't a problem though. Like he averaged less than 2 goals a game.
He was a problem though, because when you needed a save, he wasn't there for a save.
That goal on Gallagher was terrible. I mean,
right.
And like a save there, but like
there was so many times.
Bottom line is you can't win a game scoring 1 goal in the last minute in garbage time.
It's also tough to win games though from behind. Right. Yeah. Like every time that you were playing from behind,
they just kind of locked it down after that.
You got 2 goals, you got 3 goals, you can score, but you already know that your offense is struggling in the big players.
Yeah.
Right. And the big two have been shut down, right?
They're garbage. They were useless. They did absolutely nothing.
They were scared, it looked like, to get into any shot that was going to get them an opportunity to score.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it was there, especially in that final game for me.
No, the only thing here is there's only so many years you can blame the goalie before you just kind of take a look at this team and realize maybe they don't have what it takes. They're an incredible regular season team. I don't know, man. Like Mitch Marner was invisible for that series. Great penalty killer. I'll give him that. But like, I'm not paying you $11 million to be a penalty killer. I'm not paying you anything, but they're not paying you $11 million to be a penalty killer. Like, your job is to put up points on the board, and he just didn't do that. Plain and simple. Like, he just wasn't relevant for most of the series, had a bunch of key turnovers that led to goals, and he did nothing. And then Austin Matthews, man, I think he looked dangerous in that last game, but never really anything came of it.
a lot of things were hitting bodies. A lot
Yeah,
of things.
just
He was definitely making plays on the ice, but a lot of plays were in the neutral zone or in the
mhm,
defensive zone because
mhm.
Montreal was just putting the pressure on the Leafs
They
and
cough it
not
up and
backing
back they
down.
go.
Right. And it seemed like the same kind of offensive like idea to get into the zone, and it wasn't working, right? Montreal
No,
sat
no, it's
back to the
terrible.
red line, yeah, till center ice, and then
Yeah.
they would pressure from there.
Mhm.
Right. They let the Leafs get some momentum and get some speed, but then there was two of them on you, and it felt like there was six of them on you.
Yeah.
They were everywhere that
I
the Leafs were, and it was incredible to see them work
They were
that
great.
well.
They were
And then
fantastic. They played a phenomenal series
yeah,
from game 5 onwards.
but
They were
when we go
fantastic.
back thinking about the Leafs, Freddie Anderson was the guy until Jack Campbell
Sure.
showed up. And let's not forget how much the Leafs had paid, like, to get Freddie Anderson, right? I
Yeah.
know that was like they
It
traded
wasn't
for him,
terrible.
and I
Couple, it was
wasn't
like a
sure.
second. It's not too bad.
Right. But that was the assumption. And especially going
Sure.
back
You could have
in
gone to
Leaf
Freddie.
history, was
Maybe.
Freddie was the guy. And I
Maybe.
think game 6 was an okay opportunity too, because you absolutely get the overtime loss. You come
Mhm.
back from 3 goals, but Jack Campbell at that point kind of wasn't like he wasn't showing much. He was showing you that
He
that
was good enough.
it's
The guy
he was good enough
was like
afterwards.
4th in the league in goals against so far in the postseason. Like his save percentage is top 3 if
I
I'm not
understand
mistaken.
that,
Like he's
man,
been
but
fantastic. It's
I
just
was not seeing anything that was telling me he was going to give you that save.
sure, but
Right.
like I
Carey
saw
Price
nothing
was.
out of the third. I guess it's only $22 million worth of forwards that did anything relevant at all. And like
Right. But when
you
that's
can talk about
happening, you
goaltending.
need
Like
something.
if you get less than 2 goals against a game, like if you're averaging 2 goals or less a game in a series, you should win the series handedly. But you have your big pickup at the deadline, and Nick Foligno was hurt, so he was irrelevant. The heart and character guys you have in Zach Hyman, Joe Thornton, and what's his name, Wayne Simmons were absolutely useless. They did nothing all series, and then
They
there's
just
just
had
no
way
forward depth around this. Like
they
it,
had way too much expectation to score though, right? As soon as Tavares is injured,
yeah.
and then Matthews and Marner struggle to score, and now you're relying on Joe Thornton and
I'm
Jason
not even
Spezza doing
relying
what
on
he
them.
did.
Just do
But they
something.
were, but that was the Leafs' point though, was now we have to rely on our depth scoring, which they never had, right?
No, they can't. They're just it doesn't
Galchenyuk was
exist.
too new to a
Yeah.
system, especially to start changing up lines where it's like, oh, Nylander's there, Nylander's not, because that
Mhm.
changes the dynamic of that lineup for sure, right?
I
If
thought
Nylander's on the ice or not,
I,
your zone entrance is different.
I thought Gelich had a really good game 4. I thought he was good for most of game 5 until the overtime. Yeah, but just I think this is the product of Kyle Dubas kind of folding to everybody's attitude of, oh, in order to win in the playoffs, you need heart, you need grit, you need toughness, you need vets that have done it before. And he got all of that. And he picked up everything that everybody wanted, and he traded for Nick Foligno instead of Taylor Hall. And he brought in Jumbo Thornton despite the fact that he's 100 years old. And they brought in Wayne Simmons despite the fact that he hasn't been good in 6 years. And they brought in what everybody wanted, and it clearly did not work. That is not the way you're building a team anymore. Like if you look at the best teams in hockey right now, the Colorado Avalanche were built on scoring. The Tampa Bay Lightning were built on scoring.
Through the roof.
The Carolina Hurricanes were built on scoring. They built teams that are analytically good, and the percentages are going to tell you that you're going to win. Everyone they brought in on this team does not fit that mantra. And it's kind of Kyle Dubas just folding into everybody saying like, oh, we're not tough enough to win in the playoffs. Like you don't really have to be that tough to win in the playoffs. You need to put the puck in the fucking net. And they couldn't do that for 4 or 5 games of the series. It's just, I don't blame Kyle Dubas for doing it because he just listened to what everybody else said and he brought in what everybody else thought they should bring in. If this is Kyle Dubas' team right now, you don't see Jumbo Thornton. You don't see Wayne Simmons. You probably don't see Nick Foligno. You might not even see Zach Hyman after this year. You might not see him anyways. Like, I think it's a completely different roster. I think you see Nick Robertson more this year. I think you would have seen Rasmus Sandin all season if he wasn't hurt. It's just a completely different team if it's not built the way everybody wants Kyle Dubas to build it. Kyle Dubas is trying to build the Colorado Avalanche, and everybody else wants to see the 70s Flyers. It's ridiculous. He's stuck somewhere in this hybrid team right now that has both. And I get it. There's not a lot of money to dish around because you've given it to 3 guys. Don't tell me it's 4 guys because Nylander's on a phenomenal contract. He's a first line winger getting paid under 7. Like enough. You're paying 3 guys over $10 million. So yeah, it's hard to build a team around that. but he knows what he's doing and he's trying to do it his way. But when you're coming at him saying we need defense, we need goaltending, we need this, we didn't need either of those in this series. The defense was great. The goaltending was great. They gave up no shots. They gave up minimal goals, but they couldn't score. They'd shoot 35, 40 shots a night and couldn't score.
They were also like a lot of easy outside shots, right? There were,
Yeah,
I think we're
they
going
had
into the
nothing.
Yeah, a lot of their shots actually came from the D point, and I think on the right D point too, which is like just right at Carey Price. I found a lot of their shots too when they would get it were like frantic, and they would just fire at center, like center crest, right? It sucks to watch that. Carey Price made some big saves too, right? Like to watch him and the difference between, you know, the Carey Price of regular season and now the playoff Carey Price, like it's phenomenal. He's back again to being really, really good. Yeah. Some of those saves that were made should not have been made. He didn't see the puck at all, and he's there. Right. And that's what you need. And especially for a team that's going to fight for you, right? They had nothing to lose going into that series, and the Leafs had everything to lose, and they felt that. That's incredibly tough to maintain control and to maintain this pressure on the other team.
Yeah.
Right. And even still, I heard it from almost every Leafs fan or kind of like every Leafs analyst was this fear, this doubt that this was going to happen. And you know what Montreal didn't have? That fear or doubt.
Yep.
Absolutely. And even if they did, it was like, oh, well, we made it to the playoffs, which was amazing anyway.
They had nothing to play for. They didn't care.
Right.
They're playing with house money.
Yeah. And they could do it again.
Yeah.
They could just easily run
sure, they could beat the Jets. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
They beat us. I mean, Hellebuck could still do series, but I don't really see Carey Price having 7 more games of this, but if he does, good for him. He's on a fucking mission.
He needs to have 4.
Well, he's got to have 12 more if they want to win the whole thing. He needs 4 good ones. He needs 4 more of those games. Well, even still, you could have one of those games and their team just might not score. But either way, I don't know what's wrong with this team.
The issue now, though, is with Jack Campbell being on such a very team-friendly contract. How do you bring somebody else in like that for more money? Or
I don't think you do. I think you bring like Chris Drieger is an option right now because I think Florida's
what
scrambling.
You've seen, though, now out of Jack Campbell is that
I think he's enough to be my number one. Yeah, absolutely. He was phenomenal. He was phenomenal in that series. He was phenomenal the entire season. He's good enough to be. He wasn't an issue. He was a non-issue the entire season. Yeah, it's not because of him.
But there were some bad.
Doesn't matter. They didn't score. They didn't score goals. Plain and simple.
You're going to tell me that over a complete season,
we'll see
to be able to get you to the playoffs. So that's a complete step back.
He looked fantastic. He's one of the best looking goalies in the playoffs this season.
So like Freddie Anderson could have been that.
Sure, but he hasn't been, and he never has been. He's never shown that he can. So what's the difference? And I'm not paying him more than $6 million to come back and try again. He's not worth it at this point. He's gone. You've got Jack at 1.1 or whatever it is. He was phenomenal in the playoffs. He was phenomenal all season.
I think
the issue you have right now is that nobody knows how to put a fucking puck in the net when the playoffs come around. Ever. It's been the problem for the past 5 years. Nobody can score in the playoffs, and I don't know what to do with that. You have a guy that just won the Rocket Richard Trophy in the regular season, had 41 goals in 50 games, I think it was, and he has 1 goal over 7 in the playoffs. You're irrelevant. You did absolutely nothing in the series. You have Mitch Marner, who begged and pleaded to make Austin Matthews money, got a little bit less than Austin Matthews, and did dick all. Could not find his offense to save his life. I don't know if the answer is to get rid of any of these guys. I don't like it. But at some point, you got to take a look and see, like, what is your deal work ethic wise that you can't do fuck all when it comes to these moments.
A lot of the things that'll save these players, though, are that, you know, they're on contracts for a long time. And,
they're not going anywhere.
And Tavares being injured, well, there's one thing you can kind of say, okay, we don't know what the team looks like with him completely on it, right?
But you should be able to beat the Montreal Canadiens without John
absolutely,
Tavares.
But that's a huge loss without him.
Yeah.
Right. So there's one thing. The next thing is how many players are on 1-year deals are not expected to come back. Your team Your team is already going through a major shakeup.
Yeah.
There's
zero reason to bring back Wayne Simmons, Joe Thornton, Pierre Engvall realistically, but I think he's got one more deal. Who else is in that bottom 6? Like, they're just irrelevant. If anyone in the bottom 6, not named Jason Spezza, can go. I don't care.
What is Brad?
Like, not relevant.
Nash signed for?
No, he's done at the end of the year.
Played.
No, he's done at the end of the year. Also, their pick moves up because he played in 28.6% of the Leafs playoff games, and they needed like 25% in order to keep the pick at a 7th round pick instead of a 6th. So now they get rid of a 6th too. It's great. No, but anyone in the bottom 6 can go. They're just not relevant. Like Ilya Mikheyev has done nothing for the past year and a half, and we still think he's going to be a piece in this organization. Like he's not good enough. He can go.
He can be a bottom.
No,
piece,
I'm done with him. He can't put up. He can't score. He can't score. He can't give you that goal just once every 4 games from your 4th line. You do because you're not getting scoring anywhere right now.
No, you can have it from other players. If you bring in other players on.
But that's what we've said for years. We're like, oh, we'll just bring in different guys and we'll just keep these guys around. It's not a thing anymore. It needs to. They need to blow something up.
Different guys, though. Like you said, there is players that from within who are capable of making an impact on this team next year.
I think Roni Hirvonen gets a chance. I think Rodion Amirov has a chance. I think Nick Robertson should be a starter in the top 6 next season. And if not, what are we doing? There's guys around that can do a job. Hello, Vladdy. How are you? Sorry. There's guys that can do the job, but they're just not using them, and they're filling it with garbage contracts from veterans and stuff like that. I would like to see Bogosian come back.
You have to though, because absolutely, I love
that's the only veteran deal that I liked.
I loved his play. He looked really like just aggressive everywhere and not afraid to jump up fast. Like it was weird how fast he looked out there. I know he's not the most, speedy skater, but he just
but he was great. He was a good. Honestly, he wasn't even that bad of a skater. There were times when he'd go on a rush, and I'm like, holy shit, he's got some wheels. He just
kind of got up there, right? Which is expected. I think one of the things is solidifying that 5th defender. Mm-hmm. For me, like if Jake Muzzin is healthy, for sure.
For me,
you hope that like Jake Muzzin, TJ Brody, and Morgan Riley.
Yeah, I think they're all guaranteed back.
They all stay, but like then even the top 4 though, right? Like if Bogosian's gonna be top 5, top 6, Hall could go.
Justin Hall can take a long trip to Seattle for all I care.
Right.
He was useless. Without Jake Muzzin, that guy's not a good D-man.
Right.
I have more faith in Travis Dermott because Travis Dermott at least has tools. I mean, I still don't think he's a bonehead. He's not a very smart guy.
We don't have the option to pick that, right? So
well, you could protect one of them. And if I'm leaving a guy open right now, it's Justin Hall. You can take Justin Hall. I don't care. Take him. You don't have to protect Bogo because he's gone. You're protecting, I think it's 4 D-men, right? If I'm not mistaken. And it doesn't have to be Sandin because he's not.
Or you can do the other alternative, depending on the way.
But you won't because you have way too many forwards to protect. I think you're going with Riley, Brody, Muzzin, and honestly, maybe Dermott. I'm not protecting Justin Hall. I don't care. You can go. Because I don't want him here anymore. He's not good without Jake Muzzin, and he showed that in this playoffs.
Okay, but just moving him down to at least the 6th, right, or even the 7th is not that bad. But that's what I'm saying. Like the top 4,
he's a good 7th D-man, but relying on him every day is impossible.
In the top 4 then to go alongside of a Muzzin. Like Brody looks incredible in the top 2. I hope that he stays there and that he's earned the trust. And even if Riley needs to slide down to the second pairing, and you can bring in a top 2 defenseman, like not that you absolutely need it, but let's say that you bring in that kind like just let's just have a solid top 5 to 6 now, right? Where you can slot in a rookie to try some things out. Or if Sandin decides to blow it up, then he's there, right?
Your moves next year, you don't even need to bring in D-men at this point because you have Sandin, you have Liljegren, who looked great in his short stint in the NHL, I might add. I forget the other one. Is it Topi Niemela? I think is a D-man. He won the D-man of the year in that World Junior tournament. So I mean, the guy can play. They have options. They have 3 guys right now that I think could be legitimate NHLers next year. Defense isn't a worry. You keep Riley because he was fantastic in that series. I think I forgot to mention him in the original thing. Morgan Riley was fantastic in the entire playoffs. I have 0 issues with what Morgan Riley.
I wanted him to see more time, to be honest. I know that
he played a lot.
I meant more in like the power play. Like
they kept him on PP2 when Thingy was there. I don't get it.
I get that, but like for me, if if this power play is struggling and they're just kind of sitting in the zone, moving the puck around and not getting tired, at no point do I want to see power play 2. Okay. I would rather stack power play 1 and just try to run with that.
Not in the playoffs. In the regular season, I liked having 2 power play units because like it gives you a lot of options. But in the playoffs, like you run your best for 2 minutes and you hope to score.
Man, your power play needs to figure it out. How many opportunities did they have to get back?
You know what's wrong with their fucking power play? You have Mitch Marner and his muffin of a shot in a one-timer position, shooting pucks at Carey Price's chest all series.
Do you know what's amazing about Tampa Bay's power play? All of them are in one-timer positions.
Yes,
where they can
the guys that can shoot are in one-timer positions. You have Stamkos, Kuch, and Hedman in one-timer positions. You don't have Mitch Marner, the passer, in a shooting spot. And I don't understand how you can watch the first 2 games of that series and be like, oh, yeah, no, this is good. And not move Marner into where the net is or like in the bumper spot. There's zero reason to have Mitch Marner shooting the puck on the power play. He didn't have a power play goal all year long. He didn't score 1. So why is he there and William Nylander standing down by the net with his rocket of a shot? He had 5 goals in 7 games and you're putting him down by the net. It makes zero sense.
Well, continuing to get some time out there, I'm not understanding of that either.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I think a lot of that's on his own doing. He does take some shorter shifts just to keep himself fresh.
But so even still on the power play, for him to be there,
for him to not be on line 1 after game 4 is embarrassing. Like it just clearly wasn't working with Matthews and Marner. It just didn't make sense to not have him up.
No.
But realistically, people keep complaining about the power play and like, oh, get rid of Manny Malhotra. You don't need the power play to score to win the series. Montreal proved that. They had 2 goals on the power play. One of them was a 5-on-3. Like, you don't need that power play to succeed that much for you to win. You should be scoring at 5-on-5. There's no reason that team shouldn't be scoring goals, and it just makes no sense. Maybe Keefe's the problem. I don't think so. I think Keefe did a decent job. You can only do so much. You can't make guys play better. It just doesn't exist.
They also had a really tough string of having so many things go wrong in a row, right? Like, we remember that the coach's the goal, the coach's challenge, the failed coach's challenge, the Marner flips it out, and then that's it. I think for everybody right there, it was just the same. Like Marner's expression was the rest of the series.
Yeah, you knew it. I think at that point, you're just like, this is it. It's over. It's done.
That's when you felt scared, right? Everybody.
I gave up on this series after they scored that overtime winner in game 6. I'm like, we're not winning game 7. There's no reason to believe so. I didn't care too much about game 7. I don't know. A lot of people are online talking about how they should trade Mitch Marner, and I mean a lot of people. And I don't know if that's the case. I'll reset it. A lot of people are online talking about how they should trade Mitch Marner. A lot of people. I mean,
why is he not able to figure it out in the playoffs, right?
This is
the opportunity to figure that out. And if he then, if the Matthews Marner thing doesn't work, the issue is that there was no breaking Sheldon Keefe's mind that Matthews and Marner were going to separate, right? Nylander could come up, but Matthews and Marner, Marner could not go down. And I'm not understanding why, right? I even think that at some point there was Kerfoot, Galchenyuk, and Nylander out together, and they looked fast. They looked like they had some zone entry.
They looked great.
And then he flashed it for a minute and then went away from it.
Now, a lot of this is hearsay and just people reporting things, but apparently Mitch Marner has been a bit of an issue this year in terms of moving him around on the power play and moving him in and out of the lineup and stuff, like different spots, because he doesn't like to be moved around or something. I don't know the full story, but if that's the case, man, just
you're in it.
Snap something into that fucking kid. You don't run the team. I don't give a shit how much money you make. I understand that Mitch Marner is a good kid. I really like Mitch Marner, the person. I think he's a great human being. I do not like the business side of Mitch Marner. I do not like the fact that his dad is Paul Marner and he made him all this money for no reason. And would I like to trade Mitch Marner? No, I think Mitch Marner is a great fit on this team. Would I like Mitch Marner to be Mitch Marner 100% of the time? Yes, because when that kid is on, he's phenomenal. He moves the puck so well, but you need to swallow your pride and do what it takes to help the team win. Don't go home this fucking offseason and do nothing about this. Change your game. You need put on some muscle or something. Make it so you're not paper thin, getting pushed off the puck and scared to play in the corners. People talk
if,
about Willie about it. Man, Mitch is so much worse at it.
I think if he can develop a quicker snapshot almost, and something that where he's able
on something
to make it look like a pass, and like kind of just even get more flex in your stick, right?
Yeah.
Like just don't be afraid to put a little more bend in it if you want to, right? Yeah. Like even if you want to put on, let's say 10 more pounds, 15 more pounds, but make sure that it kind of goes in a way where you can put more flex in your stick to rip one in there. Like that's what they're missing, right? Like for him, it's he doesn't look at the goal because he knows that if he does it, it's going to be like not as an aggressive as a shot, right? He's going to have to really put it perfectly. And nowadays, like you beat goalies with speed, right?
Yep.
Alexander Ovechkin, I don't think has aimed a shot in his entirety.
No, just
like in the
put
career.
Something behind it, man. You have season starts in what? October. You have all of June, July, August, and September. You have 4 months. Do something about this.
But this
do something. This is the first time in Mitch Marner's career that all of Leafs Nation hates him right now. He's not. There's not a lot of Mitch Marner fans in Toronto fandom right now.
This is also the first time where you walked in supposed to be the winner and you didn't come out. You were the only legitimate upset. I understand they were standing upsets in the playoffs, but you were the only legitimate upset that made it through.
This was legitimately
every other team you can justify how they were able to win and that they were able to go on to the next round and the round after that, pointing out key players. But this team should not have lost the way that they did, right? No, to go up 3-1 and then to just completely lose it.
Yeah.
It's is it like watching Golden State again? You know, like how does so much talent not work together?
If you're Mitch Marner and you are watching what's happening right now in the Leafs fandom and you just watch what happened to your team, you need to take a look at yourself and actually put some effort in here or you will be gone. Right now, I think Leafs Nation's trading Mitch Marner. I don't think Kyle Dubas is trading Mitch Marner. It doesn't make sense to trade Mitch Marner at his absolute worst. This is the worst we've ever seen out of Mitch Marner. Why trade him now?
Also, what are you going to get for him?
Exactly. Like everyone's talking Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel doesn't help. Well, you just want to push JT down to the third line. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Unless one of them moves
to wing, and then if you move JT to the wing, now it's a really bad contract for a winger because a lot of his value is at center.
But so it
doesn't make sense.
I really have a tough time bringing a disgruntled athlete into an organization, especially to try and save it. And like an
injured disgruntled athlete, I might add.
And you know what this might do? This also might like piss off Matthews, piss off Brody, who just got here, right? Piss off Riley, and just that. Then they're going to say, this is not the organization for me.
The team likes Mitch Marner.
The team loves Mitch Marner.
The team loves Mitch Marner.
He's too good not to.
I like Mitch Marner.
His game has grown, I think, each year. Not not when you want it to, obviously.
Yeah, the key moments he doesn't seem to be there. But like this isn't an every year thing for Mitch Marner. It's just a recent playoff performance for Mitch Marner.
He wasn't supposed to score. Like
he didn't do a lot of anything. So there's that.
To me, it's also like from Austin Matthews I understand that you were frustrated. You had bodies on you at all points.
Sure. Yeah.
But you have got to find a way, right?
Yeah.
Watch McKinnon.
Especially if you're Austin Matthews.
Watch McKinnon, watch McDavid. If you want to be a top 5 player in this league, top 3 player in this league,
don't watch McDavid. Just watch McKinnon.
Dude, because that guy made some goals. But he made some goals.
Yeah, 2 scoreless games too.
Absolutely.
Anyone that said Austin Matthews or Leon Draisaitl is anywhere near Nathan McKinnon this year, go check yourself. Because Austin Matthews, for sure, Leon Draisaitl just as much. They are not Nathan McKinnon, and they clearly do not have that takeover ability. Now, you can work on that because Nate McKinnon didn't used to be Nate McKinnon. Nate McKinnon used to be pretty bad himself, and the guy went to work and sat there with one of the greatest hockey players of all time in Sidney Crosby, and he became a Hart Trophy candidate every single year.
I'm going to give everyone a little hint, all right?
Yeah.
If you want to be one of the best athletes, roll yourself out to the East Coast, get some of that water, that fresh sea air, you'll be good to go. Okay.
Now, I think Austin Matthews took a step in the right direction last offseason when he worked out with Connor McDavid and they went and did their whole thing in Arizona. I think that's good. I think you need to go to a different person and train with them. Maybe find someone like Sid and be like, hey, can you teach me for a bit? They don't have a relationship. I get it. But if you're Mitch Marner, you need to be doing something along those lines. You need to change your game. and you need to put some actual work in. If you're still a Toronto Maple Leaf, maybe they want to trade him. Who knows? I don't see it happening.
That's too drastic of a move.
It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. It was the best regular season Leaf team of all time.
Like we've said, though, you already have so many things changing. There's already so many other pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want more things? Why do you want more balls to juggle? Right? Just let the top forwards figure it out. Let the top defensemen figure it out. Get healthy, come back, and do exactly what they were supposed to do. Right?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
You see a fly or something?
Like something just dinged in my headphones. That was weird. I don't know. I do not envy Kyle Dubas. I do not envy Brendan Shanahan. I don't really care about Keefe. I think he'll be fine. Nobody's judging Keefe right now. They're saying he should be fired. Yes. I don't agree with it. But like nobody's looking at Sheldon Keefe to make a move. So
I think that I'm looking at him as well to make an adjustment, though, right? I saw a lot of the same.
Sure. But like, if you're complaining about someone right now, you're complaining about the makeup of the team. You're not complaining about that.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think Sheldon Keefe did a phenomenal job. Is he the best coach that we've ever seen? No, but he's also really good at what he does. And I think he's the right coach for the job still. He just had you can't force guys to be better. It's just not a thing. And I've already said that.
Second full season with the team.
This is his first full season, and it's not even a full season. Last year he came in halfway through. This year he had half a season. Like, give the guy.
He had 82 games.
No, total. I think he had over 80. Yeah, because he's the fastest to 100 wins. I don't know. Whatever it was, he was great. I think he was fantastic. I don't have issues with Sheldon Keefe.
So we've seen half season.
It's not Sheldon Keefe's fault that Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews couldn't score. Could he have changed the lines? Maybe. But we also just judged Keefe last year when he did change the lines to put Matthews with Nylander and Marner and like he doing all that. So, I mean, you can't win. If the team doesn't win, you're not going to be happy with the coach. And I get it. But there's really nothing he could have done.
One of the best things that Montreal did too all series was win faceoffs. And, you can give a lot of credit to Philip Deneau, who just stepped in and owned Austin Matthews on every single part of that ice. Mm-hmm. But they did exactly what they needed to do, and that's got possession and, force the Leafs to play from behind. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think any questions are going to be answered anytime soon, right? You're going to look to free agency is when the big questions are gonna, Leafs fans, they just need to chill out. They need to avoid the playoffs, not watch the second round, because you're going to watch Boston just get their way through to another Stanley Cup. Yeah. And you're going to feel sorry about it.
We've had people bitching and complaining for 4 years. When did Nylander sign that deal? 3 years ago?
2.
I think it was 3 or 4 years ago.
2, I thought.
However many years it's been.
When Babcock was there, no?
It was, yeah. But like it was when Babcock was there for the full season. Because he's played 2 years. It's 3 years ago he signed that deal. So for the past 3 years, we've had people bitching and complaining about William Nylander and how they should trade him. And he's been even before that, honestly, they're just like the topic of conversation was trading William Nylander. And Kyle Dubas never traded William Nylander. So to think that you're going to step in here and be like, oh, the Leafs need to trade Mitch Marner, and he's just going to be like, yeah, you know what? We're right. We should trade Mitch Marner. You're kidding yourself. Kyle Dubas has a plan in mind. Whether or not that's trading Mitch Marner, who knows? But to me, it seems like Mitch Marner fits the style of game that Kyle Dubas wants. And I think this is where you see Kyle Dubas take over and go, enough of this. I'm doing this my way. Because he hasn't done it his way. He's brought in Kyle Clifford. He brought in Jumbo Joe. He brought in Wayne Simmons. There's a long list. I think the only guys that he brought in that he wanted was TJ Brody and Tyson Barrie.
Was Kyle Clifford more about Kyle Clifford or about Jack Campbell?
Well, in the long run, he brought in Jack Campbell, and that was fantastic. Right. I think he brought in he brought in the toughness of Kyle Clifford because everybody wanted it.
But now we're having the conversation that Jack Campbell is going to be the starting goalie.
He was the main reason so it was a great trade. But he brought in all these guys because everyone told him that's how you win playoff games, and they haven't done it. I think now you might see a changing from Kyle Dubas. He's not going anywhere. There's no way they're getting rid of Kyle Dubas.
At the players that do get re-signed, though.
I don't think they re-sign anyone. I don't think Zach Hyman deserves a contract. We've gone this long. I haven't said a damn thing about Zach Hyman. Zach Hyman was fucking terrible in that series.
Jason Spezza sees another contract?
Oh, Jason Spezza. Sorry, I forgot about Spezza.
Right. Spezza will see a contract.
Yeah, that's probably the only guy. That's the only one. Zach Hyman was awful. in that entire series. There wasn't one game where I looked at Zach Hyman and I'm like, wow, he's playing pretty well. He would kill every single offensive drive. They'd hand him the puck. He'd skate behind the net and try a wraparound on Carey Price every shift.
Way too much.
For on Zach a line Hyman. With Matthews and Marner, Zach Hyman should have the puck for 10 seconds total the entire game. Get your ass in front of the net and let them do work. Stop giving Zach Hyman the puck. He was terrible.
How many times is it a one-timer opportunity and it went to Zach Hyman and he had to like
so
stop the puck and then shoot it low pad, you know?
It was just I don't even really know what to say. Like he was not good. And if you're gonna come to me as Zach Hyman and say, hey, I want $7 million, I look at him and go, did you see what you just did for the past 7 games? You are not William Nylander.
Sure. In Ottawa. Like
a lot of heart. Great. He's got a lot of heart. He's a Toronto kid. A great guy. I have nothing wrong with Zach Hyman. But don't act like Zach Hyman is anywhere near what we need. The guy did nothing with the puck, and he's just hard. He's hard on people. Cool. There are tons of $2 to $3 million guys that can do what Zach Hyman does. Maybe not to the extent that Zach Hyman does it, but they get the job done nonetheless. You don't need to overpay for Zach Hyman. If he wants more than 4, he's gone because he's not worth it. It just does not make sense for this team right now. So I let him walk 100%. Other than that, who are your actually? You know what? Bogosian's another free agent. I wouldn't hate coming back.
Yep, we said that though.
Yeah,
but like that's
Bogosian and Spezza come back. I think you say thank you for your time, Jumbo and Wayne, but we're gonna go a different direction. I'm sorry we couldn't get it done for you. I love those two as people. They're great guys. They're just salt of the earth human beings, but they're not what the Toronto Maple Leafs need, especially now with the fandom just crumbling around it. It's easy. I don't even know who else is a free agent. I think Travis Dermott's technically a free agent, but I think he's an RFA.
So honestly, too, there are some interesting free agents out there too that I'm seeing.
Yep.
Like there's going to be some people who I think are going to be, wanting to come to Toronto.
Keep going.
Like I just think that, this is an organization that brings in a lot of heart, like we've said, right? They've shown it this season, and Dubas is able to, he's able to convince a lot of players that this is a culture they want to be a part of.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what they do in that room. I don't know what Shanahan says. I don't know, but they can do it now, right? They have that ability to say, come play for Toronto, right?
How many players, it's a team you don't hate playing for if you're from here.
Jason Spezza has dedicated his time here. Joe Thornton has played for 2 other teams and left San Jose to come to Toronto, right? TJ Brody said, I'm going to come here and try my absolute best to win for Toronto. Those are all guys that are names, and I understand that they're later in their careers, especially Thornton and Spezza, but have them come out and say, yeah, we want to play here. And yeah, we want to be part of this organization. It's phenomenal. I don't have any worries in free agency, right? No. It's going to be tough for sure.
Yeah.
But they're going to be able to convince a lot of guys because like we've said, like there's holes in their top 6, there's holes in their top 4 defense. Like you can bring in somebody and easily say, you're going to compete for this and you're going to help us get there. Right.
I think this is the first year where you're going into free agency, not worrying about the defense. Like, I think if you can manage to get Bogosian back, but somehow,
dude, if you can make a splash, even right, if you were able to kind of bring in a solid defenseman, you're not going to be upset, right, for bringing in pieces. It's kind of like the way I was thinking with the Jays. Like they brought in Marcus Semien for almost a joke, it seemed, because it was like a year, and then now he's one of the better players because George Springer hasn't played. Now he's one of the best free agent signings that we had because he's actually panning out. He's
the second best player on this team. It's crazy,
right?
I'm just trying to look. I mean, Dougie Hamilton's a free agent, but like that's not helping our issue.
Hamilton, but Dougie Hamilton is going to get so much money, man.
It's also not going to help the issue.
No, I don't think his statistics. If you look at Dougie Hamilton, he's
incredible.
Yeah. I think somebody, like
Alex Ovechkin's going back to Washington, but that would be fun.
That would be fun.
Ryan Getzlaf's too old. You're not doing that again. Taylor Hall's going to make too much money. David Krejci's going to make too much money. Paul Stastny's too old. Derek Stepan's just no.
But do you think like Philip Deneau, like bringing in somebody like that?
I need someone that can score. I'm done picking up guys that are really good at defense because they don't help. Our issue isn't defense. It's been the same thing every year. I don't care. I want someone that can put the puck in the net. Who have we picked up in the last 4 years that has been able to put the puck in the net?
You want Thomas Tatar?
Not really.
Exactly.
Not for the price.
Taylor
But
Hall.
honestly, that's the style of play I want. Maybe Thomas Tatar.
Taylor Hall's going to Boston.
I wouldn't hate bringing back Foligno's.
So unless you're gonna pay big money for like Gabriel Landeskog, who can't score either.
Yeah, that's not a helpful thing.
Like Brandon saw it.
Landy would
Blake
be fun.
Coleman.
I think Landy's a way better Zach Hyman, but he's not going anywhere. He's going back to Colorado because they all play for $12 in Colorado. Right. I think. Right. I think Nate McKinnon makes the most at like $15 a year. They're all making minimum wage to go play for the Colorado.
You don't want like a Mike Hoffman, Paul Stastny. Like
I would love Mike Hoffman. Are you kidding me? I would love to see Mike Hoffman come here this year, next year, because he can score. That's the one thing that nobody else in this team can do.
You're not going to get a score unless you trade. You don't want.
It's just obviously you're bringing back Tyson Barrie naturally. Eric Stahl's not worth it.
What are you going to move him to the to forward?
Honestly, I bring back Tyson Barrie as a winger. He's really good with the puck. He's just not good at playing defense. Sure, why not? Armia's not good. Bobby Ryan, dude, that's a guy that has some offensive talent. I wouldn't hate to see it. There's not a lot of options out here, if I'm being honest.
No.
Especially this offseason. Blake Coleman would be fun.
Like, do you want to pay Nuge?
I don't want to pay Nuge.
Exactly.
Not at all. That guy can't score.
This is not a year that you need to go looking for scoring.
It's just
that's the unfortunate.
That's the only thing they need. I would bring Gouch back on another $1 million deal, but nothing more.
You're hoping that he kind of does something.
I think with a full year, he looks really good.
Like, would you take a flyer on like Jaden Schwartz?
You know what would be neat?
He's had some talent scoring. He's had some ability when the Blues
were also really good in the playoffs. I would think about it. Yes.
Right.
Because you're not worried about winning in the regular season anymore. I don't think this Toronto team has a problem winning in the regular season.
Blake Coleman,
we've seen they can play.
Blake Coleman scores at least 5 highlight reel goals a season for just being fast.
Give me Blake Coleman. Give me, who did you just mention?
Jaden Schwartz.
Jaden Schwartz, thank you. Give me Bobby Ryan. I think you could fit them all under what Zach Hyman and Freddie Anderson are making this year, and then you just plug the hole with Chris Drieger in that backup position. Why not? I think if he's still playing, I think you would see Kyle Dubas take another run at Tyler Ennis because he's his type of guy and he wants someone that can score.
Corey Perry, bring him in. He was a scoring machine.
Fuck that.
They
did talk to him this year, so it's possible.
Of course they did.
Josh Levo's the name that's out there. Bottom line,
Josh Levo does not help your scoring. Ryan Dzingel does not help your scoring.
No. I don't envy
way.
Kyle Dubas the next 2 months. It's going to be an absolute shit show of a time for him. There's going to be people talking about how he needs to be fired every single day. And he's going to have to try and put together a lineup that somehow turns into a playoff team. And I don't envy him one bit for it.
You need to not swing and miss in free agency. That's the issue as well, right? I don't want to hear the Toronto Maple Leafs have been involved with this name, and then you miss out.
Sure, you need to get your guy. They need to get guys that fit, though. I'm tired of them getting just just names. Like,
I think you'll be
Joe
more
Thornton's
shocked,
great,
though,
but he was just a name
they get because they are going to believe that scoring comes from within, right? Robertson coming up.
Sure. I don't think you see much this year. Honestly, you don't think you see much this year.
I think that there'll be a shock or two, right? That's why I think they're going to do something defensively because there's more defensive shock names, like more defensive names that will kind of put Leafs.
David Savard, maybe.
Right? Alec Martinez.
Sure. Alec Martinez is going to get way too much money.
Absolutely. But he knows Jake Muzzin. Him and Jake Muzzin.
No,
so
like there's you're not going to be able to pay him.
No, absolutely.
A lot of the names that are out there, like you're not going to be able to pay.
You don't know what the market's going to be, though, man.
No. Yeah, I guess
this is not a year.
Cap's not going up, right?
Right. The cap's sitting where it is, so teams are going to be strapped, especially with trying to pay their own players.
When Alexander Ovechkin comes here next year for minimum league min, and we have two of the best goal scorers of all time, then we're laughing.
When Ovechkin actually jumps over to the Pittsburgh Penguins and
he's going back to Washington, there's no chance of this.
Throws away this idea of Sid versus Ovi and now just has Ovi and Sid.
Ovi versus Ovi.
Can you imagine like he goes somewhere else? So where if you had to pick a second destination, let's say
it's
Alexander Ovechkin.
I would love him to come here.
I would love him to go to New York.
Could you imagine a second line of John Tavares,
Don't you
Alex
tell me-
Ovechkin,
no.
and Mitch Marner.
If you ever,
Because you're not
Alex
putting him with
Ovechkin-
Matthew. There's no point.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you
Why?
are.
You want
Because
one-timers
it's
from
unreal.
both sides?
Because it's
No,
unreal.
because that's your power play is you have both of them on either side. But
Great.
like, I
No.
want Mitch Marner
Alex
passing the
Ovechkin
puck
is
there.
not seeing anything but the first line. If you bring him in here, there's
All
no
right.
way.
Could you imagine a second line of Austin Matthews, William Nylander, and Alex Kerfoot? No, Nick Robertson.
No.
Way better.
Can you imagine a first line of Alex Ovechkin, Austin Matthews, and William Nylander?
Well, who's going to pass? They're just
It
all
doesn't
going to
matter.
shoot.
It doesn't
Getting
matter.
100 shots a night, but
Yeah.
I don't
You
know.
just said you need scoring. I don't need to pass. We need to score.
I have nothing left to say about the Leafs. I probably do. I could probably sit here for hours,
You
but
know what?
I don't want to anymore.
I'm making this bid right now.
Yep.
Phil Kessel, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing.
I'm good. That's way too much for a guy that doesn't play defense.
No, they're gonna eat some money. I'm not saying they're just gonna take the full money.
Maybe.
I'm just letting you know.
Maybe why not?
Phil Kessel,
Fuck it.
if you're listening, wherever
At this
you're
point, fuck it. Trade everybody for 11 Scott. There's 12 Scott Sabarins and who can we get on D?
John Scott, are you in
6
retirement still?
6 Ben Sherrads. That's
John
what the team's
Scott.
gonna
I
be.
want John Scott.
I've honestly reached the point where I just don't care. I don't care. Like even
I don't know. Your speech says otherwise.
there's no effort on this team. Let me know when you guys decide that it's time to play hockey in the playoffs, and I'll come back. Until then, I just don't really care. If they don't change this team, I don't know. You're not going anywhere. I would like to talk about a team that brings me much more joy.
Why don't we do some second round predictions and then we can do
Oh,
that.
you're right. Second round has started already, which is I think is,
started.
for starters really stupid. But Tampa's already up 1-0.
Colorado bent over.
Oh, I'm on the Colorado
Run the
bandwagon.
line.
I don't know about you, but they are my team for the rest of the run here.
Oh, I
And
think
once they're out, I'm done because
I honestly like. I think I was trying to make a bid for Vegas, but no, Colorado is
I'm
too
not
good.
interested. Also, you know what? Before we even get into it, Ryan Reeves got suspended 2 games. I don't like it. I think he should have got much more.
Oh.
I don't know what the fuck he's trying to do in that situation. It looked like he was just trying to choke out Graves.
It's a weird
Like
play. It's a weird
I don't
play.
know what, like his helmet's already off and he's like grabbing him by the neck and just shoving him into the ground.
It's not good.
Like that is not a hockey play ever. And realistically, Ryan Graves did nothing wrong. His hit was huge, but it wasn't illegal. Fight him if you want to, sure. But like you're gonna try and go after him and injure him because he hit your guy really hard. Get out of here, man. I think Revo deserved at least 6, especially after what Kadri got. I think Revo deserved at least 6. But he didn't. He got 2 because who the fuck knows with this Department of Suspensions. Yeah. Anyways, second round. We'll start with that series because oh my god, the Colorado Avalanche are winning the Stanley Cup.
Dude, they could have swept this. I don't know what
Oh
we
my
said about
God.
Chad, but I think I said
I definitely didn't say Colorado in 4, but I might
Oh.
want to.
Yeah, I think I said Colorado in 6
I'm gonna pull it
or
up. because that's what
5,
was
maybe. I
working
don't know.
on.
Maybe I actually said 7, but I know I said
Um,
Colorado.
Where is the Colorado series?
They're just too good.
I had them in 6. You had them in 7.
Right.
At the
I'm
time,
gonna
I thought it
stick-
was going to be way tighter.
I think I'll stick to it
Sure, I don't
in
think
a
so.
weird way.
We don't
Yeah.
have a choice but to stick with these. But I think I'm going Colorado in 5, realistically. But on my original pick before the series, I said 6. So,
I'll stick to 7.
good Lord, Nathan McKinnon's God. That goal he scored where he just skated by everyone, just they weren't even there. Like he was side by side with the guy before the blue line and beat him he was at the net by the time the guy reached the blue line. It was insane. I don't
People-
understand.
People need to be afraid of that man.
Oh, yes. Yes.
He's coming.
Crazy. He's unbelievable. He's the best player left by far. It's not even close.
Care. He doesn't care. He's
nuts.
He's not gonna.
Got a gajillion points in 5 games.
He's gonna put you on the highlight reel. He's not gonna think about what it's gonna do for the rest of your career. He is just going to do
Mhm.
exactly what he wants, and he looks so good.
He's got 12 points in 5
You
games.
just can't touch him. You can't push him up the puck. You can't do anything to him.
He leads the league and he's played 5 games.
Hmm?
It's insane. Just unbelievable. Kale McCarr too. I just love watching that wizard.
Their
with the puck.
defense, man. No, but all their defenders.
Oh my god,
are
Ryan
able to
Graves just dummying. I don't even remember who it was that he hit at this point.
tuck. Was
No,
it?
it was
Not that
shit. The guy that scored a hat trick in the game before. He was a Finnish guy. I don't
really good
remember
at
who it was.
sports.
Regardless of who it was, he dummied him in the corner and just unloaded on him.
Right.
And then you have Devon Taves, who's just otherworldly somehow.
Great pickup.
It's just
Sam
they're
Girard.
so good. They can't even get
Samuel
Bowen Byram.
Girard,
Yeah, they can't even get Bowen Byram in the lineup because they're just so good.
Phil Grubauer deserving
candidate.
of that Vezina nod. Exactly.
Yep, absolutely.
Like,
he's so good. They're so good.
Just
as long as they don't lose
maintain that
3 guys, I don't see how they don't win the cup.
No, maintain that.
If Nate McKinnon can be healthy through the whole run, and you get at least one of your goalies to stay healthy the whole time, and Cale Makar, there's zero reason that they don't win the Stanley Cup. Tampa Bay is not anywhere near what Colorado is. Tampa Bay has a way better goalie, and I think Vassell can steal you 4 games, but that team is not anywhere near what Colorado is. They're going to get slapped around and maybe win, but let's go Boston, and who are they playing? The Isles?
New York. Yeah, it's tied 1-1 right now.
It is tied 1-1. I don't think the Islanders look very good. They win games that they shouldn't.
I think I said Boston. Did I say 7?
I said Boston in 7. You said Boston in 6. I stick with it. I think it's gonna be a tight series just because the Islanders find a way to stay in games all the time. But
yeah, I just think that Boston's gonna rhyme off 2 wins, and that'd be it. It's 2-2, and then that's Boston takes the next 2. Yeah. So
yep,
they're dangerous.
Carolina, Tampa.
Ooh. I think you said Carolina. Did you?
I said Carolina in 7. It's 1-0 Tampa right now, but I think they look good in that series. I think they could have a chance. So I'm giving them 7. I just didn't want to pick Tampa because I hate that team.
I said Tampa. I think in 5.
You said Tampa in 5.
I'm gonna stick with Tampa in 5.
It's possible. At least you haven't blown that one yet. So
those goalies. I don't know, man. I'm a worried man about the.
I don't know. Ned's been pretty good.
He has been. He was also placed on waivers at some point in this season.
Yeah, I think that was just because they had Mrazek and Reimer, and they had no choice.
And no one claimed him. Is my point though?
He just came out of nowhere. It's crazy.
Right.
The final series features the Jets and the Canadians. I don't even want to talk about it.
Did we say what? Can I change my answer?
Fuck it, Habs in 4. I don't know. We didn't even talk about it because nothing happened yet.
Oh, right. We didn't.
I don't know. I would love to say Jets in 5, but I don't know because apparently the Canadians are the best team in Canada. I don't know what happened. The Jets in 5. I'm not going. There's no way in hell that Carey Price keeps doing this. Fucking clip that and show it to me next round when he has 4 shutouts.
Montreal at 6.
Okay.
I believe you.
I believe you. I believe you.
The Jets fans this way by picking them, but Montreal just
I believe you. I think it's gonna happen. I think
you've awoken a beast, and you know what? Remember how they were at the start of the season, and
they're back. They're back. I don't know, man. They're not even that good. They got outplayed in every single game. But Carey Price. There's no way.
Jake Allen.
I can't keep doing this, can you?
Jake Allen. I hope that ball cap fits real nice because this is Carey Price.
Welcome to your seat, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the second round. Can we please get to a team that actually makes me feel good about life?
Absolutely.
The Toronto Blue Jays are good. They won 4 of 6 in the past 2 series since we've been recording because we didn't really talk about them much, but they probably could have won 6 of 6. Charlie Montoyo kind of blew it. Montoya later. He's not a good manager. I don't know. Everyone's all over him now because he's not making good decisions. He's never made good decisions. He's a great human. I really like Charlie Montoya. I hate him as a manager.
As like an assistant. I'd keep him around.
Oh, dude, as a bench coach, Charlie Montoya is great because the players love him. The fans should love him because he's really funny, actually. He's just not a good manager, and that's just the way it is. This is not a new conversation.
He was almost tinkering too much to the point where he didn't, he
stopped. I don't know. He was overthinking himself.
The future too. What about tomorrow? And what about
our day off?
That, right?
What about the day off tomorrow? I don't like.
Right. Oh, and we also just had a game earlier. So who's available to pitch? Yeah.
If you were too busy following the Leafs and you didn't see it, Charlie Montoyo, they were up 5-4 in the 7th. No, 6th. 7th. It was the 7th because it was the extra stupid whatever it was. And he had already put Tyler Chatwood in the sixth because Steven Matz kind of fell apart. And they got the lead again in the sixth. But Chatwood had pitched the sixth. He had 2 outs, I think he got. So he pitched already. So he came in for the seventh. They wanted to go Tyler Chatwood again for some reason, despite the fact that they had only played like, I think it's like 4 7-inning games and 1 9-inning games in the last like 5 days. They had a day off in between. So it just doesn't make sense to me. But the relievers were fresh as hell. And they put Tyler Chatwood in. And he walked the first guy. Nobody warmed up in the bullpen. He walked the second guy. There's nobody warming up in the bullpen. He walked the third guy. Then they decided it's time to warm somebody up in the bullpen. And by that point, it was way too late. Castro wasn't getting ready in time. So he walked 4 straight batters before he finally pulled him for Castro. And, well, at that point, there's 1 out. And you have the best hitter on the Indians at the plate, in Jose Ramirez. And he just sent a sac fly to right. That's all he had to do. Now, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know why Chatwood came out there for a second inning when you have like 11 arms that are ready to go. And I don't know why he didn't have somebody warming up after the first walk.
I'm not really sure what he was showing that would even say to somebody.
He wasn't good in the inning before either.
He wasn't great. He was serviceable, got you by for sure. But
I wouldn't even say he was serviceable. Like he came in with 2 guys on and just looked ugly. Got 2 hits and a walk.
You want to give him the opportunity, I guess, to work out of it. Maybe. And I guess at that point, if you've already kind of gotten to that point, like what's another batter, right? Like, is he going to figure it out? No, he had nothing. There was nothing.
You know what? I respect you trusting your players to keep going, but like have a backup plan. Like if you're in your second inning as Tyler Chatwood, who's realistically a 1-inning guy, if you're in your second inning and you walk the first guy, maybe it's time to be like, yeah, let's get someone just in case.
And like how fair is that to bring in Castro and
have bases loaded? Don't get a hit.
Bases loaded, 1 out.
Don't let him make contact.
You got nothing.
Yeah,
it was a sac fly, and that was it. We knew it.
And it's the best hitter in the team. Like it's just like, yeah, you gotta strike out the best hitter on the Indians.
I want this team though to like they're kind of being too patient to make a move right now for me because, man, those teams are making moves again, right? Boston is still holding strong. The Rays are unbelievable right now, 16 of their last 17, right? And then you have Baltimore trending in the same Baltimore direction, but that's not good to just be against Baltimore. And that's what I said. It's like
we're getting better. You're hitting a shit part of the schedule too, where like all these teams you should be crunching.
And you're not, though. You can't split that to Cleveland. I don't care.
I mean, Cleveland apparently is way better than I thought they were.
But you have that lead. You can't split that to Cleveland. You can't walk them around. That was it.
You needed the sweep there.
Did they hit? Did they hit one thing?
You needed the sweep the series before too. But
did they hit one thing? No, you walked them around.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, it was ugly. Yeah, I think they're getting better. I think they're gonna be better. They're gonna get healthy. Their bullpen
I hope they get healthy.
Atrocious. Their bullpen is not good.
That needs
their starters have been fantastic in the last.
The bullpen too is also something that can be, I feel like, fixed with a minimal damage.
I don't even think they need to do much. I think they just need to wait and let their guys get healthy.
You can't wait right now. You might dig too big of a hole, man.
Maybe
Yankees are not, even though
they got they went out and got Carl Edwards Jr., which it's a reclamation project for sure. But I've seen that guy dominate at times, so maybe that helps.
Wasn't he from the Cubs when he?
Yeah, he was their closer when they won. So, or he was their 8th inning guy because that idiot the hard throwing idiot was their closer.
Or this Chapman who
that's the guy.
Gleyber Torres.
That's the guy.
He just went back
that's
to
the one. So Carl Edwards was he was a premier reliever in that pen though. And I think he has a chance to be good. Who knows? Maybe he's not what he used to be. He's definitely not what he used to be, but maybe he figures it out. So their bullpen, I think, it could come around. You might get Merriweather back. He's not close, but you're going to get him back eventually. Hatch, I think, comes into the bullpen when he gets back. He has to come onto the roster, which is tough. And then who else really is there? David Phelps is done. I don't know, man. If you're looking at, Baraki was the other one. Ryan Baraki's a phenomenal reliever, and when he comes back, he'll be great. I just think if you add Baraki and Merriweather and Hatch to a bullpen that already has Romano and Dolis looking great, I think you'll be all right, especially if Carl Edwards can pitch. So we'll see. Who knows with the bullpen? The rotation's been great. I don't have any issues with the rotation for the first time in a while. Ross Stripling tossed a 5-inning gem in that 7-inning game. Got pulled a little quick, but he was at like 60 pitches, which was
oh my
weird.
God, he was just carving.
Great. And that's back-to-back outings from him now where he's just looked untouchable. So if he can continue to do that, I'm not worried about Ross Stripling. Alek Manoah goes again tomorrow. We'll see if is what he was. Robbie Ray is still good. Steven Matz is looking better again. He was untouchable through 5 innings too, and then he just gave it all up in the 6th, but he was really good through 5. And then Hyun-Jin Ryu is Hyun-Jin Ryu. So I just think that it's going to come around. You're going to get healthy again. You're going to get Cavan back eventually. You're going to get Springer back eventually. This team's in a really good spot to compete, especially with this garbage part of the schedule coming through right now. You pick up a few wins here, you're right in the mix. They have the best winning percentage of any 4th place team in the majors right now, which is crazy. But
yet they sit 4th.
They're sitting 4th because the division is fucking ridiculous.
And that's the issue, right? That's you're in a real stacked division. And once again, the Rays being the Rays.
We have 10 more games against Baltimore.
Oh, for
I would just like to point that out.
I'm excited.
Every other team has played a lot of games against Baltimore. We played none. And like, I don't fear the Yankees because they just got swept by Detroit.
No.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that team. We can pass them. The Rays are way better than I thought they'd be. I don't understand it.
The Red Sox are way better than anybody thought they'd be.
Yeah, I think the Rays are better than they thought they'd be. Yeah, you were good with the Red Sox. That's a good choice. I think the Rays are better than they thought they'd be. Because I don't know where this came from. They just find guys in the dumpster that
the Rays
are just all-stars. Yeah, they're crazy.
They keep rotating through trading players. Again. Like, I didn't even know that Hunter Renfroe is not on that team anymore. He's in Boston.
Yeah. No, I don't get it. That I just watched this play from Vlad. I would just like to point out Vlad everywhere on the diamond is just wickedly baseball smart. He just went from 1st to 3rd on a ground ball to the 3rd baseman.
Of course he did.
Like, that's insane. He hits well. He's playing great defense. He's an incredible base runner.
Now that he can move, his IQ is like his legs catch up.
You can see his IQ. It's nuts.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was definitely hindered by that, right?
Yeah.
It sucks getting to 1st and like being out of breath.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it. You got to go run bases.
Yeah. I love watching Vladimir Guerrero play baseball. So great.
He's the MVP.
It's not close. Don't even talk to me.
No.
I had people trying to comment on that Shohei Ohtani versus Vlad thing I posted, and it's just like there's not really much of an argument for Shohei Ohtani. He's not even among the top 30 pitchers in the majors right now. And his hitting numbers are worse than Vlad in every category. It's just like, I think Shohei Ohtani is an incredibly talented baseball player.
He's doing something
nobody's done.
He's doing something that absolutely nobody, but that's a lot of pressure as well. And that's a lot of pressure to maintain that. And right? Not only worrying about, I have to start every 5 days.
Yeah. He's got to hit.
I also have to hit. And I also have to be responsible for an organization.
His team stinks.
Right. Exactly. I'm also responsible for an organization where Mike Trout is injured and Anthony Rendon is hitting sub 220.
I don't think this holds up I think he's going to get walked a lot more, but he doesn't walk right now as it is.
Or even like,
I think he's good.
They're just going to pitch crazy to him, man. Like, that's it.
Yeah. I'm not sitting here saying I don't like Shohei Ohtani. I think Shohei Ohtani is so cool. Just what he can do.
He's the league MVP, though.
Unbelievable. I just don't think he's the MVP because the MVP is playing in Buffalo right now. Thank God it's in Buffalo right now. It's so much better. It's just like, this is an actual home game. It's not a home game for the Marlins tonight. It's a home game for the Blue Jays. It's so cool.
It's almost like they wanted us to play the Rays so often just to
they packed all in there, like the Atlanta games too.
Yeah.
No, this is great. I'm so happy they're back in Buffalo. It's going to be great. The thing with this team is like, you know what, as a Leaf fan, you're going to get your heart broken because you expect them to be at least contending for the Stanley Cup. This team, they're great. They're fun.
Nothing to lose.
And I don't think they're going to be contending for the World Series, but they could be a playoff team. If they don't, I don't think anyone cares.
I think the plan really kicks in next year and the year after, right? That's when you need to make these.
Yeah, eventually they're going to get heartbreaking if they can't find wins in the playoffs. But right now, they literally cannot break my heart. There's just no possible way for them to do it.
They've played 2 games in the playoffs. That's it.
Yeah, I have zero expectation. It's fantastic. I'm so excited for this, John.
How many rounds?
Yeah, I don't like it. So that's it. Thank you for listening if you made it this far. If you're a Leaf fan, I'm sorry. We're all in this together here, I guess.
I was thinking maybe, people, if you made it this far, what you can do is you can send us in what your current jersey is and what it's doing, or something maybe,
Show me
that you
where
did to
your
it. Yeah.
current Leaf jersey is.
We want to know what your current Leaf jersey is and what it's doing and
I
what it
would
will
like
be
to
doing
know.
for the remainder of the offseason. So Brant
Mine are in my
is
shed
in his shed
in a box. They're gone
in a
and
box
for the foreseeable future.
the
I
the,
may
ga-
need to rescue my Nylander sweater because I made that one and it
the
looks really cool.
gasoline is far away. Don't worry.
I won't destroy that stuff because I spent way too much money on it.
So we want to know. We want to see
I
what
do
you're
wanna
up to.
know.
We want to see what you're doing. Mine is just sitting in a ball in the corner of the room. I haven't touched it. I just said, you know
No.
what? That's going to stay there.
Yep.
It's okay.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. If you are this far, don't forget to follow us at the BnB pod _ on Instagram and Twitter, and at the BnB podcast on TikTok. I really enjoy communicating with all of you. It's a lot of fun. You can also check out our merch and more content at theasports.com. And yeah, you can catch us at the end of this week sometime, probably Friday or whenever. Whenever I get these things posted. I'm really good at this. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you next time. Cheers.